I'm doing Quiet Waters Farm and Craft. So today's gonna be some soap making today. I'm making some soap bars for my family and also to sell in my craft booth. This does take a 4-week curing, so that is the only thing that I will not be showing this video because I am just now making it. So I got a recipe, and so we are going to give it a whirl and see how it goes. This does take a couple days to have it set up, and then obviously the 4 weeks for it to cure. So I will probably come back in those 4 weeks just so I can show those bars of what I have. I'm going to flip the camera around. A lot of these ingredients are really cheap. I found a lot of them at the Dollar Tree. Some of them I have bought online only because I've had them before, but one item you still can find at the Dollar Tree. Some of them will not, some stores will not carry this product. Mine doesn't, so I'm glad that I had it and I bought it online. The other ingredient that you would have to buy online or at a local hardware store would be the lye that cannot be purchased at the Dollar Tree. And I will also show you all of the instruments that I will be using. Now, a couple of these items I did purchase at Goodwill only because I didn't want to pay full price at the store. So some of these items, it would be great to go to your local Goodwill and see if you can find these because one of them you will need, the other one you don't have to have it if you're not doing this type of bar. Now you can do regular bars, but today I'm going to be doing an exfoliating bar. So I'll flip the camera around and show you guys just what you need. Okay, so the first thing is right here I have a bowl and it's got 4 ice cubes in it with some water. You're going to need 4.7 ounces of water. Now the reason that I have the 4 ice cubes in there is because when you mix it with lye, or when you put the lye in there, it can heat up, so that ice is going to help cool it down because it has to be at room temperature. The next thing is this is a soybean and olive oil here. Now I purchased this at the Dollar Tree. This is a 8.5 ounce, and I needed 17 ounces, but this will work because I have 2 bottles. Now if you don't want to get this there, you need 15 ounces of soybean oil and 2 ounces of olive oil. Well, this has both of it in there, so this will work. Now these were $1 a piece, so $2 when, at the Dollar General I looked at it and it was $4 for one, so you save $2. So it's really up to you what you want to do, but to get your bang for your buck, you want to go to the Dollar Tree. The next thing that I used was, this was from my morning coffee. It's coffee grinds. I did 1 tablespoon of this. Now, these 2 items right here are the optional. This is for the exfoliating. So if you want to do just a regular bar, do not include these 2 ingredients in your process. But this is 1 tablespoon of coffee ground, and this is 3 tablespoons of oatmeal that I have ground up. Okay, the next one is cocoa butter. You need 2 ounces of cocoa butter. And then 1 ounce of whole milk. 1 ounce of honey. And then 2.4 ounces of the lye. This is the granule type here. Now remember, whenever you're going to make the lye, whatever container you're using, just keep it and write on it lye jar or whatever, because you don't want to ever mix anything else in there. So that is all the ingredients that we're going to need. So some of the utensils that you're going to need 2 bowls. So I have 2 glass bowls here. You want to use glass or like a really heavy plastic bowl when mixing with lye. You're going to need a spatula. Now you can use like a heavy plastic or a wood, and I have the silicone here. You're going to need some gloves. Now I'm going to be mixing my lye outside, so if you're going to be mixing it inside, make sure it's a well ventilated area. You'll want to put on goggles and a face mask also, just so those fumes do not get to you. Now this is totally optional. This is a coffee grinder here, and that's what I did to ground up my oatmeal. So this I paid like $1.50. It was on sale. It was normally $3 at Goodwill. So these are around $10 and higher if you go into a store. So this is an optional tool here. You will need a hand blender. I also got this at Goodwill for $2. I think it was normally $4. So you will need one of those. And you will also need a digital scale. Now, I did buy this at the store, and it was around $15 because I didn't find any Goodwill, so I had to buy that myself. So I will put all this in the description box just in case you guys have any questions. So I'm going to get ready and we'll get started. Okay, so we are outside, and I'm sorry you're going to hear some crickets or whatever that noise is over there, birds, I don't even know. Okay, so I have taken my ice water and put it in a larger bowl. Now, we have our lye right here. You always want to mix the lye into the water. You never want to do it the opposite way. So that's what I'm going to do now. And I'm just going to mix it a little bit at a time. See how quickly that melted my ice cubes? This stuff can get really, really hot really, really quick. And being outside, I can't smell the fumes, but if inside, I've watched a few videos where people weren't wearing the proper PPE, which is personal protection equipment. So, and you know, they made funny faces, or they had to walk away because the fumes were so bad. So please make sure that you are taking the proper precautions and wearing your gloves at all times. These have to be worn even if you're outside. So I do not have a face mask on or goggles because I'm outside. The wind's not really blowing and it's not right up in my face. So if you are going to do this in your house, please make sure that you take those proper precautions. Alright, so we are all dissolved. And I'm just going to let this set. I'm actually going to take it in the house and set that off to the side. I need to go and melt my cocoa butter at this time. So give me a few minutes and we will go back inside. Okay, so now what I'm going to do in my big glass bowl here, I'm going to pour my 2 bottles of oil in here. Okay, then I'm going to take my cocoa butter and I'm going to pour this in here, and I'm going to put it in the microwave I'm going to put this in the microwave, just my oil, for about 1.5 minutes, and then I'm going to melt this. So I will be back when I get this out of the microwave. Okay, got this out of the microwave. I'm going to pour my cocoa butter in here, and then I'm just going to give it a stir. And this could take a little while. Probably take a couple minutes, so I'm just going to sit here and stir this until it all melts, and I will bring you right back. Okay, so we are back. I've got one little teeny tiny piece here. My bowl is still a little bit warm, so I'm going to let this sit for about a half hour because I want to get it to a little bit closer to room temperature before I go and mix all the other ingredients in there. So I will bring you back in about a half hour, and we should be good to go. Alright. Alright, so we have made it to room temperature. I'm so excited to get this started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my 1 ounce of milk in here. 1 ounce of honey. Trying to get it all. So pretty, pretty, pretty. You can see all the little granules in there that the milk has made. Okay. Alright, I'm going to pour the lye mixture in here. Now you make sure that you pour the lye in there and pour it on your spatula, so that way it doesn't cause any splashing. This nice and slow. Don't want to rush any kinds of processes in this. You can smell the cocoa butter in here. It smells so good. Okay, now I'm going to put in my coffee grinds. Oatmeal. All right. Now we're going to be doing the trace. Now the trace is where basically this is really liquidy, and we wanted to get it to where it's a little bit more thicker. So I'm going to get this all set up over on the counter so I can get my machine plugged in. Okay, so here we are. We're going to take our hand blender here. Now you want to make sure that this piece here stays on the bottom of your bowl, because if you lift it up or you curve it anyway, you're going to splash it everywhere and then you just make a big old mess. So we're just going to get it mixing. Oops, more splashing. Okay, this process is going to take me a few minutes, so I'm just going to pause the camera, and when I get it to a trace, which could take 2 to 5 minutes, I will bring you back and show you. Okay, I'm about at the halfway point, because when I lift it up, it's starting to get a little bit thicker. It's not as thin and watery as it was when I first started, so I'm just going to keep on going. Okay. So as I'm swirling this, it's a little bit thicker, but I believe that we're at the trace point because it's making swirls in there. So I'm going to get my mold ready so we can get this poured in there. Okay, so here's my mold. Now you can get them in wood blocks that have these silicones in there, but I just got the silicone and I got like the extra beefy one, so that way I didn't have to have the block and the mold and all that, just have one piece. So I'm just going to pour my liquid in here. that's it. So this is going to have to be left alone here on the counter for 24 to 48 hours, depending on how long it's going to take to cure. So I'm just going to leave this be and not touch it. So yeah, I'll see you guys back in 24 to 48 hours when this all sets up. Thank you. Okay, we're back. It's been 36 hours. It's been a day and a half. And it has started to come off on the edges. So I've just kind of popped it out a little bit on both sides like this. I did have to use a knife on this side to kind of get it to break away because it started to break here. It's a lot more solid. Yesterday when I checked it after the 24-hour mark, the top was still pretty oily, so that's why I wanted to wait and do it then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a knife real quick and pop this off on the side. Just again, because I don't want it to stick or break. There we go. Just had to see that pop. And then I'm just going to flip this over and push down. And there it is. And it came right out of the mold really good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, because I'm going to keep some of this for myself, but I'm also going to sell this in my craft booth. So I'm going to take my ruler and do 1-inch marks on it. So that way they are all the same length. So these are going to be 1-inch bars. I don't know if I said that or not, but I'll just repeat myself. And this little tool, I got this from Amazon. It came with this and this for $16. I didn't think that was a bad deal. I really like this because of how thick it is and how sturdy it is. Instead of getting the box and doing it. So here we go. We're just going to slice and dice right here. And that's what it looks like. And I'm gonna set this out. This does have to cure for 4 weeks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this cure, and when this gets a little bit more solid, I'll probably smash this down a little bit. I'll probably try to get it smoothed out today a little bit more, but leave it a little rough looking. But I think it turned out really good. So I'm gonna get all of my bars cut. I'm really happy. This is my very first time doing it. I've never ever done it before, so I'm really excited about this. And hi. So I just want to reiterate, please make sure that you are using the proper PPE, the personal protection equipment, like the goggles and the gloves, an apron if you have it, just so it doesn't splash on you, which I did mine outside. Because I didn't want to do it in my apartment. There's not a whole lot of airflow in here, so I wanted to do it outside. You can do it in your barn, your garage, outside on your porch like what I did. You can do it in your home. Just please make sure that you're taking the proper precautions. I was really scared the first time that I did this, because I had never messed with lye before, and I was just worried about how hot it would get. But it actually went very smooth, and I was very happy. So I've spent a lot of time doing the research on the soap, so that way I didn't mess it up and make a good video for you guys, but also make a good product for myself and to sell. So I will put all the ingredients in the description box below. If you guys do try this recipe, please put that in the comments below. I hope that you guys have a blessed day. Thank you for watching.